white liberal females don't have anybody to jump on. They're jumping on Sydney Sweeney.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
I thought it was a really good commercial. I thought it was a really good play on jeans. My jeans, I look good. Essentially, she's doing kind of the same thing that she did with, what's that soap company? Sasquatch or something like that, where she was selling her bathwater. And they're doing that because it's a marketing ploy. That's all it is. It's just marketing, right? For people who are fans of hers. That's what they're doing. And she's leaning into it, and she's doing a pretty good job so far, right? So for women to get upset about this, her embracing what she has, I mean, she's choosing, think about this. She's choosing to be, if you want to put it that way, objectified. She's choosing how she wants to present herself, and people are upset about it. Take a look at this next clip.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda. I also am thinking about like all of the young girls who are doing their back to school shopping right now at places like American Eagle who are seeing ads like this. Yikes. Also, American Eagle is mostly a brand that like teenagers to like young adults shop at, and so the fact that like this type of advertising is being used that feels so for the male gaze and so over sexualized, like I just don't like it. I don't like it even a little bit.
Well, their job is to sell clothes to young American women and young American men. I can remember, I think there's an American Eagle. No, it was a Hollister. It was a Hollister. It was a really great cologne that smelled really good. I never wore Hollister in my life, but somehow I got a hold of that and it was fantastic until they stopped making it. But they make this stuff for certain people, and you guys think that you control the world, and now you're trying to control how actors and actresses market themselves. Is a crazy thing to do.
Sweeney has officially flown too close to the sun, and nobody should ever be shooting her bail ever again. Never again. She's shown you who she is multiple times over now. Because see, everybody seems to have forgotten about / swept under the rug the fact that at her mother's 60th birthday party, they had spin-off hats made of Make America Great Again hats that said Make 60 Great Again. Not only that, her close family was at that party wearing Blue Lives Matter shirts. Not only that, that party was thrown at a ranch, and that may seem like an insignificant detail compared to the other two, right? But you couple the aesthetic of the clothing that people were wearing with the fact they actively chose a ranch as a venue. I don't know. It's kind of just blatantly saying racism to me. It's saying I'm a conservative piece of shit. That's what it's telling me. And people did the typical thing they do when a white person they like shows them that they are actually a conservative. They say, oh, well, that was just their family. You know what I'm saying? They can't control their family's views. Like, that doesn't say anything about their political tilt. You know what I'm saying? And then Sydney Sweeney came out with the statement, oh, you guys, I just wanted to share photos of my mother's birthday party, and you guys made it some insane political statement. No, y'all are wearing Make America Great Again hats and Blue Lives Matter shirts at a birthday party. You are making it political. That attire never needs to be worn at a birthday party.
Imagine coming in with a camera of some sort somewhere. I don't even know how you got in here. Telling telling somebody what they can do at their birthday party that you're not paying for.
Your phone is not broken. No, that was not AI. Yes, that was a real ad by American Eagle, and it's a real campaign featuring Sydney Sweeney basically boasting eugenics. A lot of people are upset because there's a lot of nuance to this as to why they should be upset. But at the end of the day, this is not surprising. This is who they have always been. If you've been following my page for a while, you know I believe 3 things. A leopard can't change its spots, the North will always remember, and if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's more than likely itself. And no better example than American Eagle, right? Because I was a teen in the early 2000s, and I remember places like American Eagle, Aeropostale, Abercrombie & Fitch. Yes, Abercrombie & Fitch was the worst out of all of the Y2K brands when it came to like ostracizing people. You know, Aeropostale and American Eagle were not too far off, okay? They still carried things like a 000. They weren't as inclusive when it came to their models or who they were hiring. Like, they did a little bit better than A&F, but not much, which is why this ad is not surprising. Starting off the bat, they went in with queer baiting. A lot of people thought they were teasing Renee Rapp and that this was going to be this big campaign that was going to promote more inclusivity, but joke's on them, it was Sydney Sweeney.
The words we use are never unintentional, and so for American Eagle to say that Sydney Sweeney has good genes is not an accident. So, there's an ad that was grabbed from the internet that said why Sydney Sweeney has good genes. It talks about how genes are passed down throughout time from your mother, from your father, and you get your genes from your parents. Her genes are blue. She wanted us all to know her genes are blue. And this is not a far cry to say that it is the amping up of eugenics in this country. It is the ramping up of choosing certain models, people to promote certain items that look like what they want their customers to look like.
Or it could be this is what their customers are traditionally based on marketing research. So let's lean in to who they are, what they do, so we can sell a product. Here you are walking around with a shaved head, bleached, I'm guessing, and whatever you're wearing, they market to you in a certain way because you're looking for a certain aesthetic. Period. That's why they got this woman showing her behind. Walking around the way that she does is because some of these ladies like to walk around and do that. It's really, honestly, it's not really for men. It's for the women. Women are going to see these jeans and be like, those are super cute. I want those.
Can Sydney Sweeney stop appealing to the incel market? It's getting annoying. She just did an ad with American Eagle, which is a clothing company basically known for their jeans. It kind of starts with her zipping up her clothes and the camera moving up her body. It is Sydney Sweeney. She's very attractive. And she's narrating, genes are important. They discovered things like skin color, eye color, and hair color. Odd. The camera makes it up to her face, and she says, my genes are blue, as the camera zooms in on her blonde hair and blue eyes. Not to sound like a lib here or anything, but like, if you watch the commercial, it does kind of feel like they're Third Reich posting.
Third Reich is a crazy statement. Maybe they were, and she was, using her body to sell a product. Look at the way this looks on her. She's beautiful. Now imagine what it would look like on you. This will make you more beautiful. This will make you prettier if you wear these. You'll be so cool. You'll be so in. Guys.
So first and foremost, y'all, the ad is apparently supposed to be her selling jeans. But like, if you watch it, you don't get that vibe that that's what she's selling, like, at all. So for starters, right, the ad that I've seen, because again, I'm not sure if there's multiple. I don't even need to see multiple though. But the ad that I've seen, it's so creepy and it's so obvious that they're trying to promote eugenics. Like, and I think, again, this all goes to, like, my apparently too woke theory that conservative media is literally overtaking like the entire like media atmosphere. Also, I'm switching the lighting because it's making my concealer look so light, and I promise y'all it is not that light. I promise you. Anyway, it'll blend out. I promise you. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, so yeah, like when you see it, like it's just like a eugenics campaign. It literally is a eugenics campaign. Like, of course you're gonna say that the blonde haired, blue eyed girl has great genes, and people are trying to say, oh, well, it's just a reference to her big boob. Okay, like I'm sure it's also a reference to that, but let's also like I'm 100% sure at the same time that two things can be true at once. So it's also about literally the fact that she's a white blonde girl.
You guys are complaining about that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad, so I went and saw it. That's Nazi propaganda. Wow. I thought it was gonna be like kind of bad. That's gonna be in history book.
Hey, you wanna go to American Eagle?
Oh, I can't go in there because I'm black.
Don't forget to boycott American Eagle for their racist shit online, talking about blue jeans and white people. Boycott American Eagle. Boycott the shit out of them. Boycott American Eagle. Do not buy them. And cancel this person, Miss Sweeney. Cancel for her being racist, for doing Nazi propaganda. Cancel American Eagle.
Imagine not being able to enjoy your food that you just got from the food court because you're an idiot. You walking down, looking at different things and different items, just trying to enjoy your day. And then you see that and you're like, oh, look at this, triggered. You're an idiot. Leave people alone. Boycott this. What are we boycotting? The woman has jeans on. Let her wear jeans. Get back to work.
They're literally saying the quiet part out loud, but was it ever truly quiet when you're wearing dumbass merch like this? I mean, really, make America great again. When was America ever great? Their definition of greatness was when this country was full of white supremacists and that slavery still existed. And now we have this interesting ad with a play on words where we pass on blue genes to those genetically with blue eyes. I mean, it's no accident that Sydney Sweeney's initials are SS.
And yet, here you are in America. Delete this video.
Since Sydney Sweeney decided to do that little ad she did, I want to find some alternatives to Aerie. I really need new underwear, so if anyone could give me some recommendations, that would be great, because I do not want to support that mess.
Hanes, Fruit of the Loom, Victoria's Secret, there's plenty. You don't really even need to do this. You just did this to hop on a trend and run your mouth. You could have got online and say, underwear that's comfortable, ChatGPT is available, you can ask them. Delete this video.
The Sydney Sweeney Aryan Eagle ad is not only xenophobic and racist, it's also scientifically inaccurate. She says genes often determine hair color and eye color. I'm sorry, often? That's literally what they do. If they're not determining hair color and eye color, what is? It's giving red pill podcast bro with no marketing experience clearly running their ad department. And I just hate when companies make content trying to use medical or scientific terms and then completely up. Like, it's not that hard to Google what genes do, how DNA works. Do genes often determine our traits, or do they always determine our traits?
Yep, that got me too. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so blatant. I keep thinking that people just are not gonna believe us until we're hung out there. But then even then, I feel like they'll be like, oh no. Kind of like they are with.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Ain't got nothing else to do. Can't write no songs. Can't be working on no raps. Not in the studio. Shopping. Looking for different places to eat. Good food. You gotta be on here wasting your time.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Did American Eagle just run an ad for eugenics? Totally just talking about denim, right? Just a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman explaining how her good genes gave her personality and purity. I mean, are we really going to pretend that this isn't a little fashy-coded? Look, I'm not saying that Sydney Sweeney personally wrote this ad to revive the Third Reich, but American Eagle absolutely knew what they were doing here. You don't get to drop lines about inherited traits, blue eyes, and great genes while zooming in on somebody that could have walked straight off of a Nazi propaganda poster and expect people not to catch that reference. Good genes used to mean racial purity in fascist circles, and now it's just denim marketing. We are watching fascist aesthetics sneak back into pop culture through fashion ads, trad wife influencers, and yes, now blue jeans. If you think this was an innocent ad, you have not been paying attention.
You know, you could think all of that, but then you could be like, maybe they just want to sell some jeans and make a little bit of money.
So we begin with the backlash over a new ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
Despite that backlash, American Eagle stock has been soaring.
And once again, maybe that's it. Bingo. Their stock has been soaring. Let's look at Dr. Squatch Soap Company. While it's not a public company, there's no stock data available. I'm reading here that the limited edition soap, 5,000 bars at $8 each, reportedly sold out instantly, and a viral giveaway drew about 1 million entries for just 100 bars, right? Observers say it did not produce a measurable spike in overall sales right away. Rather, it primarily created massive publicity and brand awareness. Imagine that. Wanting to create some brand awareness. Bringing in an actor that's pretty to do just that.
The best part of this is Sydney Sweeney didn't even say a word, and she still triggered the entire left. She didn't give a political speech. She didn't put on a MAGA hat. She didn't attend a Trump rally. All she did was promote a jean brand and have an American flag, and that right there proves just how fragile wokeness has become today. I mean, they're doing this whole study, spending millions and millions of dollars at the DNC right now of how did we lose young men last election? I can tell you it's stuff like this. So first of all, not just wanting to embrace Sydney Sweeney as a campaign, but second, attacking her for being pro-American. It's an odd concept.
Sydney Sweeney, who is an actress, she's the toast of the town. She's a sort of modern day symbol. She's being called a white supremacist by people who don't like her latest ad, which is for American Eagle, and she's advertising jeans, and yet the lunatics on the left think she's advertising white supremacy. Okay, this is obviously a reference to her body and not to her skin color.
Nazi. I don't think Sydney Sweeney is a fascist. I think she's just pretty. And that's why they say she has good genes. Because she's pretty. She's not ugly. A Nazi?
So yeah, an unapologetic, playful ad celebrating a beautiful woman is a big deal now. We've created a hypersensitive cancel culture where a punny ad about a woman's jeans becomes a Nazi reference because she's white.
Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle are being accused of promoting eugenics in this new ad.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
In her ad with the popular clothing company, the nod toward her genes stirred some backlash online from people who accused the company of Nazi propaganda and white supremacy by suggesting that her blue eyes and blonde hair made for great genes.
The Sydney Sweeney campaign is exactly the reason why we need D, E, and I in every corporation. Because what happens when you have a bunch of white folk who all look and think the same, they put out some bull like that.
With even Doja Cat joining in.
My jeans are blue.
A representative for Sweeney declined to comment, and American Eagle didn't respond to a request for comment. But on the other end, many are saying that the backlash is a reach or an over-exaggeration and an example of wokeness on the left.
All because a hot girl who wore jeans and looked good doing it, the left is having a meltdown over this.
But this cultural rift isn't surprising. Recent years have been marked by trends like the old money aesthetic, the end of the body positivity movement, and the rise of trad wife lifestyles. That's why.
So you don't think that this is maybe an insecurity of yours that you probably need to fix? Like maybe, you know, she's just out here making money. Y'all pick and choose whenever y'all want to be mad at somebody. This woman is out here getting the bag. Getting the bag. I hear she played on the Euphoria or something like that, the HBO show or something like that. I think I saw it on HBO or something like that. I just heard in one of these clips that Euphoria was the show that she played on. I thought that was Zendaya, to be honest with you, but that's neither here nor there. Apparently she played on this show and getting the bag, and then she's played in a few other films. I've actually, to be honest with you, never actually seen any other Sydney Sweeney films. I've never seen her in any shows. I've just seen her here and there because somebody might bring her up and I'm like, oh, who is that? And so then I'll go look her up. But I've never actually seen her act, right? But that shouldn't matter because her acting should be empowering. But all of a sudden, when she goes and gets the bag, you know, when these OF women are getting the bag, taking all of their clothes off and shaking their chest in front of a man's face, that's empowering. You can look but don't touch. But all of a sudden, Sydney Sweeney decides to do this and you have a meltdown.
I think the one piece about the Sydney Sweeney discourse that's missing is the fact that Sydney Sweeney is mad at us. She's not pandering to the male gaze, she's mad at us. Her breakout role was in Euphoria, but if you've actually counted the amount of projects that she has done since then, I never hear anyone talking about her actual projects, the content of like her skills, like her acting abilities, like none of it. The only conversation ever since she came out in Euphoria is about how she's a big bottle blonde with a bunch of MAGA family.
And your level of hate for that is absolutely insane.
As a blonde, semi-large chested woman, I have always tried to give Sydney Sweeney the benefit of the doubt. I said, guys, you don't get it. Like, it's not her fault that she's so perfectly voluptuous and exactly the male gaze archetype. I said, guys, like, she wasn't being overly touchy with a man who was in a relationship. She was promoting her movie. Okay, she likes working on her car. She's just different. She just has different interests. It's okay for women to be interested in typically male-dominated spheres. When her commercials with Hey Dudes came out and she was using that weird sultry voice and utilizing her body as a marketing tool, I was like, okay, I mean, get your bag. You know, I suppose that men who still wear True Religion unironically is kind of the Hey Dude demographic, so I guess that makes sense. But I have to draw the line here because this weird jeans ad for American Eagle is at best ignorant and at worst like literally promoting eugenics. Not to mention, like, from a marketing standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. Presumably you're trying to market to women and you're doing that because you think that all women want to look like you because you are the male gaze. Mind you, in the era of decentering men, like, did no one do any market research? But anyways, essentially the message is that everyone should want to look like you because you are a woman that embodies the male gaze. And while you cannot help that yourself, you can help by not promoting the idea that women's sense of value and their desire should be rooted in how they are to a godforsaken man. And with that, I must dishonorably discharge Miss Sydney Sweeney from the blonde, large-chested brigade.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, now, so apparently Sydney Sweeney modeling for American Eagle denim is now called propaganda for a certain mustache enthusiast group. Yes, you heard that right. Schmotzies. Because when I think of fascism, I obviously think of denim ads and hot girls in low-rise jeans. Obviously. So here's what happened. American Eagle dropped a new campaign. Sydney Sweeney leaning on a Mustang, giving us bombshell vintage vibes. The ad says, great jeans, jeans. Classic dad joke energy, right? But cue the internet, who immediately decided she wasn't making a pun. She was clearly referencing eugenics, because blonde hair, blue eyes, and an innocent wordplay is an immediate schmaltzy dog whistle. Make it make sense. People actually said it looked like a fascist recruitment poster. Like, I can't stress this enough. It's a jeans ad. Some people are out here unraveling conspiracy theories like it's their side hustle. Meanwhile, Sydney is just standing there in denim looking hot. But no, cancel her now, because she is definitely the new face of fascism. Because we all know that American Eagle is secretly the Fourth Reich. Also, the ad, it was raising money for domestic survivors. Let's throw hands over fonts and jean seams, because the outrage Olympics never sleeps. So kids, what did we learn today? 1, wordplay is dangerous and must be stopped. 2, looking good in jeans is now a hate crime. And 3, the internet has once again proved that logic is canceled. Seriously, if you saw the ad and saw schmaltzy propaganda, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe try some carbs or sunlight, some daylight. Yeah, try that.
At some point in time, you guys really have to start getting a hold of yourselves and asking yourself, what am I eating for breakfast that's causing me to think like this? What am I consuming in the day that's causing me to say things such as this? A woman who is doing an ad, like the guy said, it was a pun. Like the pun is intended. Like, my jeans, I'm so pretty. A lot of people think that I'm pretty. We're talking about jeans, you get it? Oh, well, now you're racist, you're a fascist. You're part of the Nazi propaganda. For talking about how pretty I am? You want these jeans? You want my jeans? There's a lot of people at some point in time that wanted to look like Kim Kardashian, meaning they wanted her jeans. There are literal women, even today, doing Beyonce makeup tutorials, doing Kim Kardashian makeup tutorials. Any celebrity that looks good, they're probably going to have a makeup tutorial on it. And it's not just a makeup tutorial in the way of, oh, these are the products that she uses. These are the things that she wears. It's a complete makeover to make you look like that celebrity, like literally like them. Oh man, if I would have seen you on the street or looked at you just at first glance and not really focused on you, I would have thought you were that celebrity. This is what they're doing. They're emulating celebrities because they want to look like them. They want to steal their beauty. Y'all keep on saying that a woman's beauty is social currency. And then when somebody says, okay, let's let that shine, then all of a sudden they're Nazis and they're fascist. That's when we come up with this type of weird propaganda. I can see where you're coming from because of the back in the day when the whole world war and stuff like that, how that started. I understand it perfectly. But like the guy said, once again, maybe you're doing too much. Maybe it's just that, an ad. Too many times, you know, this type of culture is the exact type of culture that modern women feed into. And they ruin everything. Literally everything. Oh, this is woke. Oh, we got to make sure that nobody's pulling the wool over our eyes. We got to make sure that nobody's getting over on us. Nobody's trying to get over on you. Yeah, but these men. Yeah, but this company. Yeah, but this American Eagle's feeding into the patriarchy. Yeah, they're doing it subliminally because they can't do it outright. You don't think that there's some people that are black or minorities that work there that are okay with it? You don't, I mean, come on, guys. We could be doing so much more. We could be out there. Let me ask you, why don't you create your own ad? Instead of complaining about what somebody else is doing, why don't you put a business plan together and say, okay, we're going to hit back with our values and we're going to do it cleverly. Why don't you do that? Wait a minute. You're not smart enough to do that. You don't get paid to do that. Why? Because you're not good at it. You're not good at it. So you sit online talking trash about anything that comes up that you don't like. Just trashing people for no reason. No other reason than I'm miserable. I'm by myself. I'm alone. I can never hope to achieve what she's done because that's just not my lane. I cannot accept that maybe other people like her aesthetic and the way she looks, and they will buy into that. They will support that. And maybe the way y'all know how y'all say men need to improve their looks, and just a little bit of effort will improve your looks in a woman's eyes, hygiene or whatever y'all like to say. And then a man says, well, this is what some of us like. Maybe if you were wearing this type of clothing, or maybe if your look was more like this instead of a strong, independent boss babe in a pantsuit, looking like a whole man, acting like a whole man, then maybe I'd like you. Maybe if you portrayed feminism and some sort of sensuality, then I would be attracted to you. But since you walking around here, no twist, no nothing, you don't want men to look at you. You don't want men to approach. You don't want men to be interested. But then simultaneously, you want men to beg and yearn. What are we yearning for? What are we begging for? Not another dude. Y'all want to call men DL, but then men are not approaching you. Men are not approaching you because you are masculine, because you complain too much, because you're not feminine. They're selling femininity. That's what they're selling. They're selling a cute, soft woman is what they're actually selling. Sydney Sweeney, you know, there's some people like who have like more defined faces. Like I don't want to say I know it's a better example out there, but Charlize Theron, she's like a more older woman. So they might bring her in. Well, she's kind of on the edge, but they would bring her in for a more mature audience. Say, for instance, somebody in their 40s, 50s, right? Somebody who's looking to buy clothing or an item like that, that identifies with her. But then you have Sydney Sweeney, who looks younger. Oh, shoot. I'm trying to market to those in that exact range. I'm not sure how old Sydney Sweeney is, but she looks like young, like maybe 21, 22. I'm trying to market to that demographic because I want them to buy my stuff, my clothing. So I get somebody that looks like them, that would be kind of the same vibe as them, and I put them in the advertisement, and we'll see how our sales go. And surprise, surprise, it looks, at least in the beginning, like it's working. You guys need to really get a grip on life and come back to reality.
American Eagle's ad with Sydney Sweeney. Let's dive into the company and Sydney's ties to Republicans, Israel, and why we're seeing Sydney's face everywhere. When Sydney is not at Jeff Bezos' wedding, she can be seen at her family parties or selling questionable soap. I know what you're gonna say. We can't judge her on her family. It was just a family party. Let's judge her on her own actions. This American Eagle ad not only has hints of white nationalism, which can be heard here.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Let's also go into the deeper meaning of blue blood. It is in reference to you being so purely white, you can see your blue veins of blood. Now, if we don't look at it from a white nationalistic perspective, we can also find that the ad is very similar to the Calvin Klein ad of Brooke Shields when she was 15 years old. You know, the problematic ad that sexualized a teenager? But this isn't the only ad Sydney's been in. If you go around Sephora or department stores, you'll see her everywhere. Why is she being pushed down our throats so hard? One thing behind pushing people are PR companies. What was the PR company behind this American Eagle ad? Shadow PR. This is Brad Seifman, who's the CEO of Shadow. Now, luckily I've been watching Brad for a while. What have his stories been like for the past 2 years? A lot of things about Shadow PR are making sense now. American Eagle themselves, after October 7th, put up a billboard in Times Square so that no one would be confused about where they stand. The CEO of American Eagle himself has given money to Netanyahu's campaign, super PACs for Republicans, and his sisters tried to sue him for how he's been allocating business funds. What do you guys think of American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney?
Imagine having time to do this type of research instead of just living your life. You could have had lunch, dinner, even breakfast the next morning and had a better experience. But you're sitting here wasting your time on this type of stuff. Think of how many shows you could have gotten through in this amount of time. But you're wasting your time hating on somebody that doesn't even know you exist.
Oh no, a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes that grew up around Trump supporters isn't ashamed to be a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. Let's pretend to be shocked for a minute. No matter how much y'all try and shame white people for being white, a vast majority of them are not going to be ashamed to be white, and they're actually going to be proud to be white. And why wouldn't they at this point? They are the main demographic in America. They are catered to, and to them, they are winning. So no, a video about genes and genetics catering to white people in 2025 does not surprise me one bit. What surprises me more at this point is it's the fake outrage at this point. You guys want to project onto these people that they are socially aware, they want to do better for everyone in America, when a vast majority of people do not care about the social construct of America. They care how it benefits them, and that's all that matters to them at the end of the day. They don't care who is losing, they care about how is it going to benefit them. And Sydney Sweeney is a perfect example of that. You guys wanted to project onto her that she was going to be socially construct and tear down her conservative upbringing, and she's not. She's actually probably proud of it deep down, and she's telling people behind closed doors, but she doesn't want to come out to the world because then she would lose a lot of her fans. So I say all this to say to you, do not be surprised that white people are proud to be white in 2025.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Watch. Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys, it's for men.
You know what I think is funny about this, right? Is that women will argue against and for themselves in this situation. Let me explain. So they'll see Sydney Sweeney making this commercial where she's obviously using her assets to get sales, right? And they're like, this is so weird. This is so disgusting for women. This is degrading to women, right? And then I'm in the back like, oh, okay, we all agree this is degrading to women. They're like, yes. So we all feel the same way about OF and SW, right? No, they're liberated and they're, making their money and they don't have to worry about a man. Is that not what Sydney Sweeney is doing? Y'all advocate for these OF and these SW workers, but when Sydney Sweeney does it, just selling soap, y'all are like, this is degrading to women. But it's not degrading to women to actually bust it open on the World Wide Web? I don't understand. Where are your morals? Where are your morals standing? What's the goalpost? Where do we say this is too much and this isn't enough and that's all right? Where are we at? Because if Sydney Sweeney selling soap, just being sexy about it, is degrading and regressive towards women, but y'all love these OF girls. Y'all love these OF girls, and y'all hate Sydney Sweeney. One's just alluding to sexual activities. One's literally busting it open. I don't understand where are the morals at.
But they didn't use another skin color. They used the white skin color. So instead of moving the goalpost and switching it around so that you can argue on a playing field you feel more comfortable with, maybe take a second to think about the fact you're defending white supremacy.
I feel like all I've seen today is unhinged liberals screaming about this whole Sydney Sweeney gene campaign. And I think it's funny because, one, I don't know anybody that shops at American Apparel. So American Apparel is trying to rebrand themselves, and Sydney Sweeney's everywhere. So she's a great person to have for their brand. She's been in a lot of movies. She does Euphoria. She's done a lot of stuff, and she's hot right now. So why not have someone who's hot do a campaign with them? But then you have people like her are super unhinged and who think if you scream and shout on the internet, anyone is going to listen. I literally went on her page and saw that she had a pride flag and a watermelon in her bio, and I was like, oh, another watermelon lover, and I literally wrote that on her page. So she writes me a DM, and she's like, she calls me a white supremacist, and I'm like, are you kidding? What? It's just, they want to scream and shout every name in the book: transphobic, homophobic, white supremacists, you name it, just because they have nothing else to do at this point. You guys can keep screaming all you want, but every time you scream, nothing happens. When you protest, nothing happens. When you riot, nothing happens. So you think screaming on the internet because you're so upset over a Jean campaign is really going to matter? Nobody cares. At this point, I genuinely think if you're a liberal, you are literally mentally disturbed. Because if you're not screaming about some issue like this, you're screaming about Donald Trump. So it's like, you people are crazy. Crazy!
It's like you guys don't have anything else you could be doing. This is what you're mad about today? Like, why? Weirdos. Losers. We're not calling people losers enough.